Welcome to Season 3 of the Dance Reel podcast. I'm Kate Histon. Before we dive into this episode, I would love a favour from you. To help us bring some wonderful guests to our show and grow, please subscribe or follow this channel, like, comment and share with a friend. That would be a great help. Thank you so much. This episode was sponsored by Master Dancer Mindset. Know yourself, be yourself and express yourself on and off the stage. Hello, Dance Reel listeners. Today I wanted to talk about something very dear to my heart, supporting pre-professional dancers with perfectionism. And if you're a dance teacher listening to this yourself, maybe even a dance parent, I'm sure you can understand we've all experienced perfectionism in one way or another. So I'm really glad you came here today. Perfectionism is one of those qualities that dance seems to magnify, especially in the pre-professional space. On one hand, it sharpens detail, drives consistency and raises standards. And on the other hand, it can become a trap that drains confidence and joy. If you are a parent or a teacher of a dancer on the path to a professional career, you know how much pressure these dancers face, exams, auditions, competitions, and the consistent comparison with peers. What often gets missed is how perfectionism shows up quietly in daily habits, inner self-talk, and even how dancers relate to you. In today's episode, we're going to explore how perfectionism shows up for dancers, why your language matters more than you think, practical tools and exercises you can use at home and in the studio, why dancers need a life outside of dance, and also some reflection prompts made for you because the way adults model imperfection has enormous impact on our young dancers. By the end, you'll walk away with very tangible steps to support your dancer in building excellence without losing themselves to perfectionism. Perfectionism is not the same thing as having high standards. High standards are about doing your best, growing and being committed. Perfectionism is different. It ties self-worth to achievement. It whispers, if I don't get this exactly right, then I'm not good enough. For a dancer, that might look like avoiding trying a new step in class because they don't want to be seen failing, rehearsing a mistake over and over and over in their head, even hours after the class is done, feeling devastated after a performance because of one small wobble, even if most of it was brilliant, never being able to accept praise because they can only see the flaw. And this matters because when perfectionism becomes the driver, dancers start playing small. They don't take risks. They stop enjoying the artistry because their focus is on making mistakes. Research in sports psychology tells us perfection is linked to high rates of anxiety, burnout, and even injury. So as much as the dance culture celebrates being a perfectionist, it can have a real cost. So let's take a look at why language matters and how awareness around our language as their role models can really help them. One of the most overlooked influences in a dancer's perfectionism is the language they hear every day. So think about this. Young dancers hear so many corrections during the week. Over time, those words become their inner voice. If they hear mostly criticism, that's the script they repeat to themselves, especially when they practice alone. If they hear balanced, constructive language, that becomes the script they internalize instead. Here are 3 common shifts. 1, avoid absolutes. Instead of, for example, you must always keep your leg straight, try, work towards lengthening your leg line. You're strengthening them every week. Another shift is from evaluation to information. For example, you might say as a teacher, no, that was wrong. So instead of that, maybe try. That turn lost balance. Let's look at what threw it off. So you're leading with compassion and curiosity as opposed to focusing on the outcome, which leads into outcome over effort. Let's shift that narrative. Instead of you need to do well or I really want to see you win this, try. I saw how much focus you gave on stage. That presence is what makes an artist. These shifts may sound small, but over time, they change how a dancer speaks to themselves internally. One makes them fearful of error, while the other makes them curious about growth. Think back to your last interaction with your dancer. Did your words highlight the flaw or did they highlight the process? Here are some exercises that dancers can try right away. If you're a teacher, ask your dancer to do some progress journaling. So after class, ask your dancer to write down 3 things. 1, something they improved. 2, something they found challenging. And 3, something they are grateful for. This creates a balanced view: growth, challenge, and gratitude. Here's another exercise. It's called the mistake ritual. Teachers, once a week, have your dancers share 1 mistake they made in class. The second part is the most important, what they learned from it. Was it about weight placement? Was it about breathing? Was it about breath? This normalizes error as a part of training and reframes it to curiosity and exploration in the learning environment. The reframe at home. Parents, after performances, you're the ones that take your beautiful dancers home. Resist the urge to even discuss corrections. Keep that for this dance studio with the teacher. Instead, maybe ask, what part of your performance felt most alive for you? What did you enjoy about the process of preparing? And even better still, let your dancer come to you if they want to talk. Another exercise, the 80% rule. Help your dancer to understand that aiming for 80% consistently is more sustainable than aiming for 100% every time. That extra 20% gives ease and relaxation into their performance and helps the dancer relax and not dive into perfectionism as their main approach. Let's discuss the somatic check-in. This is another great exercise. Teachers, in class, take a 1-minute pause. Ask your dancers to notice where they are holding tension in the jaw, in the shoulders, in the belly, and release it with a breath. Another exercise, the 2 wins and a stretch rule. After rehearsal or competition, have your dancer name 2 wins, so 2 things that they achieved or that they're proud of, and a stretch goal, so something that they would like to grow towards. This prevents perfectionism from taking over by balancing recognition and growth. Perfectionism in young dancers often reflects what they observe in adults around them and also their dance school culture. If a parent ties love or approval to results, the child absorbs that. If a teacher models relentless self-criticism, students mirror it. Ask yourself, do I celebrate outcomes more than effort? Do I get visibly frustrated when I make mistakes? Do I model imperfection by admitting my own mistakes, or do I hide them? And if I do admit my own mistakes, am I kind to myself, or do I admit them in a moment of angst? Your behavior matters more than you think. A dancer may not remember every correction you give them, but they remember whether they felt safe to try, to fail, and to try again. So showing more self-love and compassion towards yourself as the teacher, as the parent, will actually help the dancer to mirror that for themselves also. It's a wonderful thing. And there's another piece of perfectionism that we don't talk about enough. What happens at home? For many pre-professional dancers, their life is already full of training, rehearsals, and constant self-scrutiny. If parents bring dance into every conversation, car rides and weekend outings, it can start to feel like dance is their entire identity. When this happens, a dancer may unconsciously believe, I'm only valuable when I'm dancing, improving, or winning. That belief feeds perfectionism. So here's something simple but powerful. Let your dancer have a life outside of dance. Encourage that. At the dinner table, talk about other things: school, friends, movies, books, events, or just silly stories from the day. Encourage non-dance hobbies, sport, art, reading, or simply downtime with friends. Protect the parent-child bond. Show them they are loved and seen when they are not in costume or on the stage. That doesn't mean you never talk to them about dance. It means you choose the moments. Often if a dancer wants to debrief, they will bring it up. If they don't, let home be a place of rest and safety, not another rehearsal space. Many dancers thrive when they know home is a space where they can just be themselves. The balance allows them to return to the studio with more energy and more joy. Let's end with a short reflection. If you are listening and able to pause, close your eyes and bring your dancer to mind. Imagine them in class or on stage. Now ask yourself, what is the one word or phrase I can shift this week to be more supportive? How can I model imperfection myself? Maybe by laughing at my own mistake or by showing patience. And if you're a teacher, another one, what could I ask after class that helps them reflect on the process, not just the outcome? Imagine how it would feel for your dancer to carry less pressure and more freedom in their training. And how could you show up for yourself and give yourself the same compassion? Perfectionism can inspire excellence, but if left unchecked, it chips away at our joy, our soul, confidence, and even health. As parents and teachers, we have a powerful role in helping dancers reframe their relationship to mistakes, growth, and achievement. Through small language shifts, reflective exercises, a home environment that allows life beyond dance, and your own self-compassion, you can build an environment where dancers don't just aim for technical mastery, but also resilience and self-trust. Thank you for being a part of Dance Reel. If this episode was meaningful to you, share it with another parent or teacher in your circle. Together we can create a culture where excellence and humanity can coexist.